What's up, Flick fans? Welcome back to the channel. It's time to go see Furiosa.
Furiosa! We've come too far.
I never know how to start. That's how I always make you start.
This is what's going to actually start the video.
So yeah, we're about to go in and watch the highly anticipated prequel, Furiosa. And I'm here with Ryan Snelling, co-host to the Movie Mode podcast. What are your thoughts about Furiosa, man? You excited?
I am very excited. I didn't do like an official most anticipated list of any kind, but it's probably third, right behind Apes, right behind Deadpool and Wolverine. So I'm feeling good about it. I think the buzz has certainly helped as well. We got over the concerns about the CGI. I think people have already stopped talking about that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm expecting legendary, but I'm okay if it's not legendary. I just want to have fun because it's the kind of movie that's gonna, shake the seat a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just want to be exhilarated, see Hemsworth do some stuff, and I'll be good if it's all of that.
I just rewatched Fury Road. So a magnificent time in the theater, even better on rewatch. It's such a cool movie. I'm hearing Furiosa is different than Mad Max Fury Road. So I'm interested to see how different. And then somebody's looking at us right now as they're walking by. And then,
Let's get her take.
And then the visual effects thing, man, I am curious about that. Is it going to look too clean? Is it going to have that grit to it? So I'm excited. I'm with you. I'm expecting really great things, but let's see if it delivers.
2 hours later.
All right, Ryan, 2.5 hours later. First thoughts. We've not said a word to each other.
No.
So what do you think?
The first thing I will say, since I prompted the visual stylings before we went in, I don't know how you make this movie any other way. Like maybe some kind of like color filter or whatever kind of cleans up the disorientation between some of the CGI. But there were sequences where I'm just like, yeah, you had to do it like this. Like there's no other way. As far as like the action and where the camera's moving and things, yeah, I was on the edge of my seat. There's a particular chase sequence that I'm very grateful that I didn't have to get up and go to the bathroom for. It's a great film. I don't know that it's like 5 stars perfect, but I was in awe a lot.
Yeah, the big sequence that I was looking forward to, I had to pee so bad. Ew! But I held it. I held it for a solid hour and 30 minutes, and Ryan said the part that I left, I didn't miss much. So I literally on the edge of my seat the entire time. And it's not a constant chase from here to there like Fury Road is, and so it's not an entire action sequence from Act 1 to Act 3, but it's laid out like this big. I mean, they even do it in 5-6 parts, where each part holds something different for the character, and I'll elaborate more on that, but I really was invested. Furiosa's story was awesome. Anya Taylor-Joy was awesome. Every actress that portrayed Furiosa was really good, and we'll talk about that. But off the bat, really enjoyed it. Ryan, I can't wait to talk about more on our podcast. What's that called again?
Movie Mode.
Movie Mode. So if you guys want to tune into that spoiler review, but right now, back to me.
Eventually.
Yeah, so I've now had 4 hours to think about this film, and the reoccurring thing in my mind, while Anya Taylor-Joy was incredible, really all of the versions of Furiosa we get to see because we're spanning through numerous moments in her life. The man, the myth, the legend, Chris Hemsworth as Dr. Dementus. Was that good? He steals the show, kind of like how Furiosa stole Fury Road. It's the same thing here, and my God, this is an electric, over the top, in the best way possible, outlandish performance that I knew Chris Hemsworth had it in him. I just didn't know we would ever see it because of the roles that he often chooses, but choosing to play a villain was a phenomenal decision. This, for me, it's not my favorite Hemsworth character, but it may just be my favorite Hemsworth performance.
What you talking about, Willis?
I love Thor, but he's doing something in this film showcasing a range that so many people are going to be astounded by. Now, for me, I'm watching him in this movie, and I'm terrified in moments, even when he's over the top and kind of outlandish, and he's got a feel for the theatrics when it comes to leading this barricade of individuals.
Calm down.
I want to interrupt today's Furious review with a question for you all. How confident are you when it comes to predicting Rotten Tomatoes scores and the Oscars? Well, I have a platform for you that allows you to trade on movies, pop culture, the Oscars, Rotten Tomatoes scores. It's the first ever platform that's legal in all 50 states, and that is Kalshi. Now, Kalshi gives you the opportunity to earn money based on your predictions for all things movies, not just Rotten Tomatoes scores. Will the new Avengers movie get delayed? Yes or no? When is the Beyond the Spider-Verse movie release date? Who's going to get nominated for Best Supporting Actor this year? This is our chance as movie fans to have some fun and, of course, trade responsibly. If you open up the Kalshi mobile app, everything you can trade on will be at the top, and there you will find Rotten Tomatoes with all of the movies listed. Here is Furiosa. And so all of your percentages will be listed below that. There's a 97% chance that Furiosa gets above an 87, but a 27% chance that Furiosa gets above a 90, because right now it sits at 89. As you can see here, it tells you if you bet $100 that it gets above a 90, you win $272. But if you say no, you get 136. So say you decide to bet $10 that Furiosa will not get above a 90, that's a $13 payout. Whereas if you say yes, that is a $27 payout. So what are you willing to risk? Do you want to play it safe or risk it because you have that much faith in Furiosa? You can also look ahead to future movies like Gladiator 2. Buying above a 75% gives you a $15 payout, and so that's essentially how Kalshi works. So if you enjoy Kalshi and you'd like the app on your iPhone right now, there's a link down below, the QR code on the screen to download it directly to your phone and get $10 to start trading right now. The mobile app is the easiest way to go about this, and it's all in the palm of your hand. So remember to trade responsibly, and thanks again to Kalshi for sponsoring today's video. Let's talk about Chris Hemsworth. It's a Wasteland, and so in the same vein of Immortan Joe in Fury Road, these guys, they're just kind of like, oh, he's cool, let's worship him, essentially. And some of them actually do. Others, they're just kind of stuck in that situation. They're fighting to survive, and this story that starts as an upbringing, and it turns into her kind of being held captive for a lot of the movie, without spoilers. I'm doing a spoiler review tomorrow. But for the most part, this is a revenge tale, because she realizes that the bad things happening to her when she was younger, she didn't deserve it. And unlike almost everyone else in this wasteland that is slowly, individually losing their minds one by one, Furiosa stays on a steady course and understands she has to fight to survive. She can't trust anyone to survive. But seeing her kind of start to open up to certain characters in this movie, and then ending up where we do in Fury Road and seeing that relationship spark, was a great touch by George Miller. And that leads me back to George Miller and just the fact that he's able to think of this. I mean, how in the world do you think of this world? And then you think to plant all of those seeds in Fury Road, but build off of them individually, one by one. The locations that we heard about in Fury Road, we get to explore some of those. The characters we saw in the background, we get to see kind of where they were in this time and how they came to be, which was cool. And I call them cameos. You call them cameos, whatever you want to call them. They are cameos. Maybe they are.
What? No.
Reoccurring characters. Seeing them on screen was really cool. And the way that they are handled is sweet. Even the way that they handle certain characters who may or may not be played by different actors. Immortan Joe, one of those examples. I really liked his voice in this movie. He was very loud in Fury Road, which was menacing, but he's also menacing here, even though he's a lot quieter and more demented in a way. And seeing him go up against Hemsworth's character, a battle for the ages, man. Two amazing villainous entities and characters. And then you have Furiosa and Tom Burke's character, who are just kind of caught in the middle of this, which is cool. And that's a portion of the film. But again, we're splitting this movie 3 acts, but 5 different parts, and each one does something different for the character. Alila Brown, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, she plays young Furiosa, and she's in the movie a lot, like almost as much as Anya Taylor-Joy. She's incredible, she's perfect, but I'm just saying, she's in there a lot. The action, it's exactly what you want it to be. Although I would classify this as more of an adventure film than an action film. There's a lot of action within that adventure, but it's a saga. That's in the title. That's what it's called.
I don't believe you.
No, it definitely plays like a saga, and you feel that with all of her development that you get, and the moments that require action, you get the action. You get the Fury Road, not the movie, but the actual Fury Road, the Furious Road.
Where we're going, we don't need
roads.
And the war boy madness and the stunts, the choreography, all of that, but they're adding some elements into those action sequences that are super cool. The visuals from that standpoint are awesome. I love the look and feel of this movie, of this world. You have the blue in the nighttime and then that hard orange and red look to the daytime, and all of that looks great. Now, my two complaints with this film, at least the ones I can think of right now. Well, three, I mean, I could say the green screen thing. Yeah, they have to use a lot of green screen in this movie. Most of it's on location. Most of it looks magnificent, but there are times where you can tell they used a green screen, but it's almost like some of these things that they're doing, it's almost impossible to capture unless you're making your actors and your stuntmen and women miserable. So I'm kind of glad they didn't do that. But then again, it is somewhat noticeable. Doesn't really bother me. The other thing is that look to the movie, that glossy, and I feel like every blockbuster kind of looks like it nowadays. It's just a little too smooth for me. Whereas Fury Road had this grittiness to the screen. You don't quite get that here. That's unfortunate. And then I do have a complaint about something that happens in the ending, but I'm not going to talk about it here. I am going to talk about it in our spoiler review podcast this weekend on Movie Mode. I'm going to post a portion of it here on this channel tomorrow, but the full podcast is going to be on all podcast platforms at Movie Mode and then Movie Mode on YouTube, so you can find my full criticism there. But for the most part, this is an epic, edge of your seat. I was gripping the edge. I had to pee, like I said in the beginning. I couldn't find a time. That's when you know it's good. And I made it epic. Before I give you my score, if you like me adding in my reaction at the beginning of the video, drop that like and let me know if you want more of that. Otherwise, follow my podcast, Movie Mode, and we're starting this weekend. It's going to be epic. Furiosa is the high-octane action-adventure that fans of this franchise were hoping for. While not as pedal to the metal as Fury Road, this prequel spends time building the world and setting up an exciting tale of revenge. It doesn't quite have the visual grittiness of its predecessor, but the stunt work and color correction make for a spectacle. I don't think I made it as big of a deal as I should have, but Chris Hemsworth is so good in this movie. They all are. Anya's great. I just think Chris Hemsworth steals the show here. And George Miller, you fantastic bastard. Keep cooking up these spin-offs. I'll take 20. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you tomorrow in our spoiler review.